Welcome everyone to Total Carnage Dinethroughs. I'm admin 1 of NEFX, and today is another mukbang. But this time it is for Soylent Green. Yes, they finally got around to doing it for a limited time only. In this year 2022, the year of the events of Soylent Green, Soylent finally got around to what was surely going to be one of the biggest cash cows all along. And it's got 6 grams of plant protein, 39 essential nutrients, and 100 calories per square green unit ration, however you want to call it. As good as humanly possible, it says. It says, contains soy, does not contain people. But, you know, that's just what they say, right? That's what they tell us for now as they slowly shift the Overton window. Oh, it's not Soylent Green. Oh, it's Soylent Green, but now with people. And then by the time it comes out, I wonder how many people would even care. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you would think if Soylent Green became a reality and how you would feel about having to eat something along those lines. You know. By the way, how much you want to bet that the shit I'm going to get for this isn't even going to be about the people part, real or imagined? It'll be just like the doofuses and the Pepe the Frog avatars calling me like a small-souled bug man destroying Western civilization, and you know, like so weak, and they're gonna be like watching with bated breath for months in my videos, looking to see when I'll make a face that's like, you know, oh. God, people are so dumb. But anyway, so there are 24 squares in this, but we're not gonna eat all of those. That'd be ridiculous. But we are going to eat 7. All right, so chow down. Now, one thing I noticed about this is that, for what I remember of the movies, well, the movie, the rations, the Soylent Green rations, and basically all of the Soylent rations, they seemed thinner and more solid looking, like have a more uniform texture and shape. Like this gets pretty close to it, but like if you served these to me and I didn't know what it was, I would assume that you were giving me some sort of weird alternative vegan brownie infused with some sort of a green apple flavor. Whereas what I remember of the movie, and granted my memory could be blurry because I haven't seen it in many years, and by the way, if you haven't seen it, you know, I don't want to condone seeing such a movie, but it can be worth watching for just how bad it is. You know, a Charlton Heston dystopia movie. I mean, those tend to be dystopias unto themselves, but the Soylent Green wafers, rations, units, or whatever in that movie, they looked more like basically like a chocolate bar, except, well, green for one thing, and also just more generally flat. They seemed like they'd be hard, you know, like just of that general hardness and consistency of, you know, a Hershey bar or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to try them. This is the view of Soylent Green. I haven't really checked, but I imagine this is the first ever Soylent Green mukbang on YouTube. So what do we have here? All right, let's give it a try. I actually do taste something at least akin to apple. It's a nice, satisfying flavor, but it's a sort of vague one, which is generally the idea with Soylent, right? It's supposed to be neutral enough. But it tastes like a vague combination of many vegetables and perhaps a handful of fruits into this vague morass of general healthiness, presumably. just so you get an idea of the type of texture we're dealing with here. It's interesting because there's a slight bitterness to it, at least at certain phases of a taste, because a taste does seem to have light phases, where it switches from one more dominant taste to the next, as though, you know, one element of it were popping out at different points, but the bitterness doesn't seem excessive or anything. It makes it seem all the more dense and nutrient rich. Yeah, I wonder what these little parts in here are from. The lighter spots. But anyway, let's try double timing it here. I can enjoy this, although no, I would not advocate it as a regular meal replacement. Even if we reached a point where there was a verifiably sufficient meal replacement thing that could be had consistently without incident or, you know, loss of nutrient potential, just as a general rule, I wouldn't advocate for that if it were avoidable, which one day may not be. We'll see. One interesting thing I notice is that the height of the bite, and yes, I am going to do this in a bit, seems to influence, you know, what tastes occur more and what seem more noticeable to me. Like such was the case when I did a double stack. I'm sure it'll be more the case with the triple stack, where I felt like there was some sort of a column of flavor sort of sliding down at an angle that seemed to be more of the taste that I interpreted as being apple or apple-like. But again, it's not really definitively any one thing. That's what's kind of fascinating about it. It's like a term like snakes and ladders or something. You think you've heard it before, but when you break it down, you really haven't. Seems like a vaguely familiar thing, but you've never quite tasted it before. That's how I interpret it. Alright, so Ready for this? Ready for me to single-jawedly destroy Western civilization? Be the civilization lumberjack, just chomp it all down. All right, here we go. All right. Well, I'm actually glad that that's done because it's good, but there's only so much I can take of you people. I mean, Soylent Green, not people. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time, perhaps with something that's more natural, more of the earth, more of our world, not so much of a dystopia. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a good one.